What is up, everybody? Welcome to Truth and Transparency, Idaho4. This is Kayla's interview with Moscow Police Department drug detectives.
You can sit right there. I'm sure you probably, like you said, you remember me from the ASUY Cop Talk. So this is one of my partners, Justin Dean. He's one of the officers here at Moscow PD as well. So obviously, I know you're aware of the stuff that happened this weekend. So we're just talking with people around the campus community and just gathering information at this point. Okay, so before we start, I'm just going to grab some simple information from you.
Yes.
In your middle. Perfect. And can you spell your last name for me?
Yeah.
Perfect. And your date of birth?
2002.
2002. Okay. And what is your and what is the address of that house?
Like the location?
Yeah. What is it?
Yes.
Perfect. And I know I called you, but what is your phone number? Because I don't have it right here off the top of my head.
Kayla was one of...
And then, yeah, I don't live at the anymore. I live at the at the Whites.
Oh, you live at the Whites?
Yes.
Okay, which one?
All right, so there you go. Kayla, one of the sorority sisters of Kaylee, also her brother, okay, had to give a, I believe he gave DNA, her brother. We're going to listen to all of this, but her and Kaylee were sorority sisters. She lived at the Whites. She was an Alpha Phi sorority member. Kayla. Very pretty girl.
I think.
Very smart.
What apartment number?
On the left.
Perfect. Okay. I appreciate you coming in a lot. Did you have any specific relationships with any of the victims? Are you aware of any of the victims?
Yeah, so I was good friends with Xana since I met her freshman year.
Okay.
And then Kaylee also met her freshman year, talked to her during recruitment. She was like one of my close friends.
Okay.
Just because, yeah, in a sorority, like you have like your big and
right.
And okay. So she was like best friends with my big, so we always like hung out together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you knew Kaylee and Xana pretty well?
Yeah.
Did you know one of them more better than the other, would you say?
I knew Kaylee.
Kaylee pretty well? Okay. So you guys were friends since about
more better, baby.
Freshman year. Did Kaylee, did she ever hang out or associate with anybody with like violent tendencies or anybody of concern or anything?
No, that's the part that was really confusing when we kind of like read the news, because she usually like stuck to her friend, like her roommates. Like she usually like hung out with like her roommates, like Maddie and everything like that. And if she didn't hang out with them, she would hang out with we call them like the King girls, and they also lived on King Street.
Okay. Are they?
Welcome to the investigation. This is the King girls. These girls were on Ann Taylor's witness list, and we're going to talk about them today.
So you said? What's your last name? Okay, so that is her last name. Okay.
And then
they call the one girl Fitzgerald. I think they call her Fitzy, but Fitzgerald. And that's her last name. Natalie.
Who doesn't live at on King Street, but she's also she hung out with her a lot.
Hung out with Kaylee a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. And now Kaylee, she was correct. She was a part of it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
her best friend Maddie was, and they've been friends for years. So
Okay.
She just kind of.
So Kaylee was, and then Maddie was, and then Xana was. Okay, so and then Ethan was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, the place that they lived at was like, it's considered like a out of house. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So other than those people that they hung out with, do you know, was she ever involved in like doing any illegal substances, like anything that you can think of?
I would probably say just coke probably, but I can't think of like her doing anything else.
Have you actually seen her or heard of her doing that before?
No, but I knew that Xana and yeah, Xana was pretty into it,
Okay.
I would say.
Did you have any follow-up questions on?
So Xana was in it.
Okay, so that's why we're going to stop right there. He immediately stops there and he wants to immediately go to Justin Dean. Justin Dean is the drug detective. Okay, they got some task force together that Justin Dean is a part of. When I say task force, you are with other agencies, other law enforcement, local law enforcement. You're combining people, and you then could possibly even work with a FBI agent or two. And then you are on this FBI task force. Okay. So the guy who's sitting there to the left, who's in on the conversation in the interview, is Detective Justin Dean. He handled every single report that had to do with the drug angle, I guess you could more or less say. Right off the bat, this guy comes asking questions. Again, we're how many minutes into this? We want to talk about drugs. Okay. She's never personally seen Kaylee doing any drugs, but yet she says, I don't know, coke probably. Like, well, if you've never seen her do that, why would you even be saying that? But then she says, well, she feels that way because of like Xana. It's almost like Kaylee would do coke because of Xana. But we hear it right there. Xana was pretty much into cocaine. Okay. And here's your question.
Coke.
Yeah.
What about Ethan?
I'm not sure about Ethan. I don't know her boyfriend that well.
And these questions, we're not trying to
No, you're totally
make
right.
anyone
Right.
bad. We're just trying to, there's
Yeah.
several avenues. Do you know at that house if they were selling drugs, if there was a lot of people that are selling drugs, or was it just kind of you go to a party and you use kind of thing?
I think it was more of like they would like go out and they would do coke, but they weren't selling coke.
Okay, so at their residence.
Okay. Pretty much they would like go out and do coke. That means that they would be going somewhere other than their place. Ready? Because I'm ready for a bombshell here. I'm going to tell you guys a little something. It's been a big mystery. Where was Ethan's apartment? Well, tomorrow morning, you're going to come back and join me for a live where we are going to show and play Bethany's at 10 a.m. Bethany's 2-hour interview with Blaker for the second time. And Bethany, it's in Reno. And finally, Bethany reveals the location of where Ethan had this apartment. She couldn't remember the exact name, but she says, it's over by the 76 gas station, which is A&W. Okay. And it's off of a street right over there. Woo. Well, okay. Well, nobody felt the need like, hey, let's go and check out Ethan's apartment. Ethan has an apartment. So you're going to hear more about that tomorrow. But right there, she said that they would go out. Like they would do coke at their house, but they would go out. And when they went out, they did coke. According to this interview.
Since it wasn't known as a drug house or anything
No.
like that, they wouldn't keep any quantities of coke or Xanax, Adderall, anything like that.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Did Kaylee ever mention to you or anybody, or did you ever hear from anybody? Did she ever like maybe have a stalker or?
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. That big drug bust raid of a 10-hour body-worn camera that I was talking about, the daughter Janelle, whose dad was Lars, and they, the whole human sex trafficking. Her and her husband, they have the house that was right next to and across from the 76 A&W gas station they have. And we're renting that house that was right next to this apartment building, right across from the 76.
Someone, she just maybe it didn't seem like a big deal that she, expressed like a concern that maybe came off like.
Janelle, the girl that stole Molly's truck the one night, that's who Janelle is. Her husband and her had the house right next to the apartment complex that was right across the street from the 76 gas station. Okay, just making sure. Connecting all your dots for you.
Like jokingly or anything like that?
No, she never mentioned anything to like any of us. Like especially like anyone like in our apartment or to the girls that live on King Street. We just knew. I mean, I don't know. Like we weren't sure, but I don't know if you guys saw the Twitch stream. That was it. Like
You saw that. What did you see in the Twitch stream?
Just like those two guys.
Did you recognize any of those guys?
We did not, but my friend, she actually went to Grub Truck that night.
Okay.
Redacted name there is a PC. Peyton, who you guys heard that interview, that went up to Kaylee and talked to her. She was there with Gray.
With her friend Gray, and
right there.
they saw Kaylee and Maddie, and they just kind of said that like those guys were just being like weird, I guess.
Did she say anything specific on the names of the guys, or?
No, I think they were just two guys that no one recognized.
Okay.
So.
Did she explain why she thought they were weird, or if they did anything, or their demeanor, or?
I think like one of them was just kind of like nudging the other guy to like, oh, like, or those are girls, like go get them or something like that. I would say like talking to like, my friend about it because she was there during that time.
So she was there while Kaylee and Maddie were there. Did she speak to Kaylee and Maddie?
Right after this interview, guess who will come through the door and be interviewed? Peyton. This interview.
At all?
I think she said hi, but I'm not quite sure.
This interview happens in person, and I do want to correct myself. When I say she comes walking through the door, an officer comes walking through the door to say, hey, are you going to call that Peyton chick? And so that phone call is what happens right after this, which you guys heard yesterday and the day before. So the person that you see Kaylee go, and the person that comes up to Kaylee in the grub truck, that's the person that they do the phone conversation with. That's PC. And she had the phone conversation with the same, Justin sitting there to the left, and your interviewer here, Rosinski, officer.
And that is, who did you say that was?
She's not on the list yet.
Okay.
And then I think another
She's not on the list. They had to turn in a list and give a list of all the sorority sisters in the two different fraternities. That's what she's referring to. The question is when did that question ever come out? It didn't come out here. So where is that? When someone's like, hey, can you get us a list of the sorority sisters? Whoever was in this sorority and whoever was in and that sorority, which is the two sororities of the victims. That's what she's referring to there. Again, this is an interview with Kayla N. Okay.
Person that would be good to talk to would probably be was at the bars all night with Kaylee and Maddie.
And that's where they get that name. And that's the person that was at the bar is the person that went actually to the bar with them and took a ride in the Uber. Okay, that's the girl that she's referring to here. Hey, you might want to talk to this girl because she was with them all night at the corner club.
At Corner Club, I think.
And what was, sorry, I was writing that down. Who was the other gal you were talking about that was at the corn club with them? Okay. And I know I've already asked once, and I'm just going to reiterate and ask again. And there's, I mean, anything that you could think of, or, I mean, Kaylee not, or even any of the victims, I guess, at this point, having any issues with anybody.
I would say Kaylee was like a very, like, she was very, like, unproblematic, like, peaceful. Like, I can't imagine her having, like, I don't know, like, I can't imagine her, like, having, like, someone, like, with violent, like, tendencies, like, around her, just because she's, I feel like she's not that type of person. If
not gonna
anything, like,
So what she's basically saying is Kaylee is actually very mature. Kaylee's not going to be around the riffraff, as I refer to over here, the riffraff. She's not going to be around people that have violent tendencies. That's not Kaylee's nature. She's not going to be kicking it with these bad boys, okay? People that are rude.
or same thing with, like, Maddie Mogan, just because, like, they, I don't know. I would say, like, it might be something towards, like, Ethan and Xana. Like, I don't know.
Now, boom, right there. I listened to this and I said, whoa, okay. This girl's perspective is that if you're asking me if any of these people, you're looking for somebody with a beef with them, okay? And she's like saying, dude, Maddie, Kaylee kept to their little inner circles, okay? They, nice, smiley, like they just, their social circles were so small, okay? Now, please listen to why she feels, and she says, like, because and she doesn't want to say it to not, like, she's not blaming anybody, but it's like, based off of what you're asking me, I'm giving you my honest opinion of the questions that you're asking me. And so how I'm trying to see this is you think that someone was like a target. You guys have already said the words targeted, isolated attack. Targeted, then God, that's what she's saying. It doesn't make any sense what I'm hearing in the news, and Maddie, Kaylee target them. Like, what? And so she says, Xana, Ethan. Listen why.
Just because, like, Kaylee's, like, never mentions, like, anything to us.
And I know you said, like, all the roommates kind of hung out, stuck together pretty close. Did Ethan and Xana ever associate with people that may be violent or anything?
Like, for me, the reason why I would
because I know you
kind of assume is just because, like, Xana and Ethan, like, they're more, like, outgoing people. Like, they hung out with, like, different, like, friend groups. Like, they didn't really stick to kind of, like, the same friend group. So,
and there it is. Makes perfect sense, and I'll break it down for you. Ethan and Xana, their friend group, their social circles. This is my example. I had 6 roommates. I could tell you exactly who me and the other 4 are going to be hanging out with. Then we have our one other roommate that was actually from Cincinnati, grew up in Cincinnati. She had all of her high school friends. She also worked at a bar restaurant. So she had those people that she would hang out with after hours. And then she was the most social person you'll ever meet, and would go and, she could strike up a conversation with anybody. Like they could be, 21 or they could be 80. She was kicking it with Jerry Springer. She was kicking it with the Reds players. Socialite. Okay. And you get like that because you're friendly, outgoing, you'll shoot the shit, whatever. She's from that area. So that roommate of mine, her social circles, she had different groups of it. You look at me and the other four, if someone was to say, if they couldn't find me, they're going to say, hey, you need to go see this person, this person, this person, this is who she, but for me to tell you where my other roommate would have been, dude, she could have been with, I don't know this group, but I know that she hangs out with people from the restaurant. I know that she hangs out with people from, and then people from back home, her friends that were high school, blah, blah, blah. That's what she means. And the big thing is here is that's what we're talking about here is from that 2 to 4 gap, from 2 a.m. until 4 a.m. Ethan and Santa, where were they? When they left Sigma Chi at 1, the last photo that they have, the party was over at 1. They left around between 1 and 1:45. It's like maybe the thing that Bethany and Dylan knew all along was actually where Xana and Ethan went after that party, instead of coming straight home. Well, actually they did. They went somewhere. But 2 to 4, where was Ethan and Xana? There is no mystery around where Maddie and Kaylee were. Ethan and Xana, this is that other circle. Who would they have been hanging out with?
I don't know. They're just more social.
Okay.
I'd say. Yeah.
They're just more social. Social with randoms.
Right. Do you have any?
Do you know if Maddie or Kaylee had like a boyfriend recently or an ex-boyfriend? Anyone that they were kind of seeing?
So, Kaylee, let's see, she dated this kid a couple of years. They were high school sweethearts, but is like a really nice person. Kaylee, last time I talked to her, a couple days ago, she was just talking about how, obviously once she graduated, she was looking for an apartment in Texas, and she met this guy, he was going to be her roommate. I don't know.
From Texas?
Yeah.
Already down there?
Already down there, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Were her and still together when she was mentioning that to you?
They're broken up.
Okay.
But I think the girls that lived on King Street and them, her ex-boyfriend told them that Kaylee tried calling around during that time. That everything happened.
Boom, right
Okay,
there.
well, during what time?
Okay, told you guys this bombshell was coming. I'm going to rewind it here for a second. Whew, okay, this is a big one.
Is like a really nice person. Kaylee, last time I talked to her, a couple days ago, she was just talking about how, obviously once she graduated, she was looking for an apartment in Texas, and she met this guy, he was going to be her roommate. I don't know.
From Texas?
Yeah.
Already down there?
Already down there, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Why didn't they ask her do you have a name for us? I'm just shocked that you wouldn't ask that. Okay. Do you have a name?
Time. But everything happened.
Okay.
Do you have a name for us? Okay, here it is. Now, we're going to talk about these phone calls. All right. Listen to what she's going to tell and listen to how these guys react. Listen to what she's going to say here. And it's about Jack D and Kaylee having a phone call, but she doesn't say that they had a phone call. She says that Kaylee was trying to call Jack Jack didn't answer because he thought it was a booty call. So listen to where she gets this information from.
Time that everything happened.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
during what time?
I think,
Hold on, I'm gonna back up just a minute.
like, obviously once she graduated, like, she was looking for an apartment in Texas, and she met this guy, he was going to be her roommate. I don't know.
From Texas, like
Yeah.
already down there.
Already down there, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Were her and still together when she was mentioning that to you?
they're broken up,
Okay.
but I think the girls that lived on King Street, and them, her ex-boyfriend told them that Kaylee tried calling around during that time. But everything.
All right, since there's choppy, this is what it says. The girls on King Street, the King girls. Hence why Ann Taylor put on the witness list Fitzgerald, Dempster, Valdez, and Josie Tutterville or whatever. Those 4 girls on the witness list, Ann Taylor, those are the King girls. These King girls tell her, Kayla, that Jack D told them that Kaylee was trying to call him around the time of this incident. He didn't answer the phone because he thought it was a booty call. Okay. How this comes up, though, is you have to rewind now. That's a narrative. Okay. There's only 2 ways this could happen. Either Jack D tells the police something different than that version, but why would you ever do that? Because Jack D's version to the police has always been that he was sleeping. I didn't get those phone calls. And so much so that not only did I not get the phone calls, I didn't even know that there was a 16 or 17-minute actual call that we actually had. Okay. Never once did Jack D say that this was around the time of the incident. Okay. If you go and listen to Payne's interview with him, he just straight up says that it was very weird that Maddie was calling him. He's known Maddie his whole life, whatever grade that was. But even though they know each other, Maddie would never call him. So that's off that she's calling him. Okay. Why is Maddie calling him? He's telling the police that something's off with that aspect of it. In Payne's interview, they never talk about a supposed and alleged 6 or 17-minute phone call. Never gets talked about because Payne took his phone. He wasn't able to look at it. And all he says is, I just know that I had missed calls from them. And they started around, I don't know, 2:30 and between 2:30 and 3. Now, these girls, they're going to ask her a very important question, which is, where did you get this information from? Okay. Because she uses the term that this happened around during the incident or at the time of the incident. That's a very important phrase, because nobody should know when this incident occurred, right? Except for if you actually talk to the roommates who are then breaking down this 4 to 4:20 situation. And the phone calls with Jack D that he didn't answer, or he did regardless, that's at 2:26 to 2:52. Way different time. Okay. So I want us to listen here.
Okay, well, during what time?
I think around 3.
3 in the morning. Yeah. Kaylee tried. Which? Okay.
I think that's his last
name. And who said that?
The girls that live at King.
Okay, so they told you that Kaylee attempted to call sometime around 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard that from. Sorry.
Okay, and then did they ever talk?
I don't think he replied because he probably thought it was some type of are you up type of call. So
Okay.
he didn't answer.
How do the girls know that she tried to get a hold of?
I think it's probably because told them, because I know like while this whole thing was like happening for on Sunday when everyone was trying to figure out like what happened, I'm pretty sure they asked Jack if he knew anything.
Do you think it? Are you?
She says, I'm pretty sure that when all of this was happening on Sunday that they had asked Jack if he knew anything. Okay. She's using the terms of, I think, da-da-da-da-da. Neither one of these guys are trying to, you have to narrow it down, buddies. Hey, so this is all third person. You're getting this. So you have no idea. Like, I think this, right? The version, though, that you're being told came from the King girls, right? That's all I need to know. Let's see how they handle it.
Like late night call, like to come over, kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like
yeah, like a
people have been together all the time
yeah.
when you break up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's her thought. Her thought is that he didn't answer because he thought it was a booty call. He never said that. Okay. Also, that makes absolutely no sense for him to tell somebody that, but then tell the cops, I didn't answer because I was asleep. Why wouldn't you just tell the cops, I didn't answer because I thought it was a booty call? Now, we know that he told the cops that he didn't answer because he got sick and he went to sleep, right? But then we find out that there actually was a phone call that he did answer, or somebody that had his phone answered. But let's go back to all of this stuff. At the end of the day, Dylan or Bethany would have to be saying, because the phone calls that were happening were at 2:26 to 2:53. 2:52. That's all in that time frame of like, well, according to Dylan, she went to sleep at 2:13 after Grower, the whole text with him. Okay. I doubt, and I would love to know, because Jack D is the only person that will know this right now, but now he can hear it for himself and be like, dude, what the hell? I never talked to those girls. He can hear it for himself here. I know that Jack D's aunt watches this channel. Please, I want your nephew to see this so he can see how this stupid ass game of telephone worked. And I don't believe that Jack D said a damn thing. And which leads me to believe that if the girls were all up and around Kaylee and Maddie still at the 2:26, the 2:53, then they would have actually seen Kaylee calling and, fire calling and shotgun calling Jack. Okay. Or if the dog is missing. But again, Jack D's over here saying the biggest thing that I took away from this is, why is Maddie calling me? Why is Maddie calling me? And then whoever told them that Kaylee was calling at the time of the incident, that to me is super interesting how that would ever unfold, because the roommates would be saying, no, what time are those phone calls? Because that wasn't during the time of that, because that stuff didn't happen until like 4:30. So it's really interesting where this version is coming from, because the times are all off, unless it really did happen at 3 o'clock, 2:30, 2:45, unless somebody slipped up along the way. But the person that I do not think slipped in any type of a way is Jack Decor. Okay. He wasn't the one that was huddled up with everybody trying to figure out anything. He was the one that was completely by himself. But according to her, she's saying that the girls, somebody reached out and asked Jack, hey, do you know of anything? Like, what's going on? What's up?
Okay.
I would have been asking way more questions to get that all.
How about Maddie? Did she have a boyfriend that you heard about? Or?
Yeah, so her and this guy, we call him, I think his first name is,
A lot of.
but he recently graduated and they're still together, or they were still together. It's been almost 2 years, I believe.
So they're still dating, like as of right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they had any problems, and he's a pretty peaceful lad.
What's he look like?
He's kind of balding. he, he's on the shorter side.
Like shorter than me. I'm pretty short. 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, 5'7".
I'll take that.
But yeah, brown hair, brunette, kind of skinny. I think he lives in Coeur d'Alene. Yeah.
Okay. With the 4 roommates, were any of them closer with one another than the other, or?
Was Maddie Mogan's little.
Okay.
And I feel like, so obviously, like, Kaylee and Maddie Mogan were probably, like, the closest out of, like, all of the roommates. But if there was anyone else, I would say Maddie Mogan and Ben.
Okay. And you said who was you said Maddie and Kaylee were the closest?
Yeah.
She's saying Maddie and Kaylee have been best friends for forever. They're the closest. But after that the next bond would be Maddie and Bethany, because Maddie is Bethany's big little combo.
And is there a that lived there as well, you said?
Yeah.
What was she have a boyfriend?
So she has a boyfriend, which I actually knew. He lives in Boise, though.
Okay, this is very interesting. I believe that Kayla has to be, I think she's from Boise, but this is a question about Dylan's boyfriend. Yes, Dylan has a boyfriend. I actually know him. Like, she is presenting it that she doesn't know Quinn through Dylan. She already knew him. And that's exactly how anybody that's listening to this, when we wind it back to the tat and listen to her talk about Quinn and listen to how she describes Quinn. You guys be the judge for yourselves, but she does not know Quinn through Dylan. Because if you did, that's what you would say. Instead, she says, I actually know him. Like, I actually know him. I just don't know that. I just don't know the name Quinn because Dylan dates a Quinn. So she's making it known that I actually know him.
Maddie Mogan were probably, like, the closest out of, like, all of the roommates. But if there was anyone else, I would say Maddie Mogan and Ben.
Okay. And you said who was you said Maddie and Kaylee were the closest?
Yeah.
And is there a that lived there as well, you said?
Yeah.
What was she have a boyfriend?
So she has a boyfriend, which I actually knew. He lives in Boise, though. His name's
Wouldn't you ask her, how do you know him? Oh, you actually know him. Oh, how do you know him? I mean, these are just such basic conversational questions. Like, I mean, what are they doing? No wonder.
And what kind of guy have you ever met?
What kind of guy? What kind of guy is he? Have you ever met him? She just told you that she actually knows him. What do you mean? Have you met him? Are you even fucking listening? This type of shit pisses me off. Are you listening? Are you even listening to her? They're already on to, like, these are our questions that we're going to ask. Checklist versus based off, like, here's your question. Pause, listen from what she says. If you have any more questions about that to fully understand it, you just don't move on to the next. This is what they train you. Clearly, they didn't pay attention to any of this shit.
Yeah.
And what is he like?
He's very hardworking. He has epilepsy, and he's really nice.
Listen to these 3 things that she says. Do you know him? Yes, he's extremely hardworking, has epilepsy, and the third one, he's really, really nice. He's extremely nice. First of all, wait, Do you understand if you know that somebody has epilepsy? That's like pretty personal, right? Do you know that he has epilepsy because Dylan told you? Do you know he has it because you've witnessed an episode? How does she know that? Out of the other two most ridiculously vague things, which is he's really hardworking. Well, how old is he? Oh, he works. Where does he work at? If he's hardworking, where does he work at? He's really hardworking. Is that because he has a lot of nice things and really doesn't have a job and sells drugs? I mean, listen to that. And then just in the middle of the most two vague descriptions of he's really hardworking and he's super nice, he has epilepsy. Whoa. How do you know that?
I wouldn't say he's a violent person.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he's a violent person. When anyone says I wouldn't say that, that means that there's people that have said that in the past. I wouldn't say that he's a violent person. Well, I think that kind of leads me to believe that other people would other people consider him a violent person? But these guys just sit there and they have no idea what they're doing. And if they even claim that they do, and I cannot believe that one of these guys is a detective, this Justin Dean to the left is a damn detective. What a mess.
Were you aware of any sort of issues between roommates? No.
No. They all got along pretty well from what I heard from Kaylee.
Okay. Were there any, I know they don't, have to be specifically dating. Were there any males that Kaylee would hang out with pretty often, or any pretty close guy friends that she would hang out pretty often or have come over or anything like that?
Let's see. I think she was talking to this guy for a little bit. He's a here.
Okay.
But
They were just like talking, like they had a thing, like they weren't like officially dating, or
yeah, I think they were just.
Do you know if they were like had a sexual relationship or anything?
Yeah, I think they were just hooking up like there and there. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it wasn't really a thing.
Okay.
Have you seen him before?
Yeah.
What's he look like?
Tall. He's brunette. He's serving as like their like right now.
So tall, is that like 6 foot?
Like over 6 feet. Yeah.
Okay. Is he thicker build, skinny,
I'd say medium.
athletic, or just kind of?
Yeah.
He's not like overweight or
No.
or
Or
like
super skinny. No.
Okay.
He's just average odd.
okay.
Yeah.
Was there anybody else that she ever mentioned she hung out with, or
Other than that, like I said before, she just kind of like stuck to her friend groups, I would say. So, no, not really, unless she met.
Who she's talking about is either Mitch or Mason, the first person, and then why he asked if like met through Xana. One of those two, I believe, had a relationship with Xana.
Someone at the bars, which I feel like can give you more information on that.
okay? Do you know if she met anybody at the bar that night?
No, we just all kind of heard that there was a guy that got kicked out for being creepy towards Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, we haven't heard anything else. Like, I don't think she was talking to like any other guy at the bar.
Okay.
He was, at least.
When was the last time you spoke to Kaylee?
The last time I spoke to her was probably at around 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
So it was like right before, because
Did she say what her plans were, or?
No, they all like came to our apartment just to kind of like hang out and like drink, but then
Okay.
they left to go roam.
Okay. So she came over to around 5 p.m. She came over to your apartment at the Whites.
Yeah, she came over.
Was she with anybody?
Boom. Next big drop. Ready right there? Let's get to it. Here it is. Big boom here. Remember, Dylan says that they all went back to the house. Okay. And they got back to the house around like 5, and that they were all going to take naps and set their alarms for 8 o'clock. Okay. To then wake up at 8, start getting ready, and then to go out. Boom. What does Kayla say? Well, they came over at like 5. What? Who came over at 5? Oh, during nap time? Yeah. Now remember, 5:30. What did the chick say in the body cam? House's body cam. Girl comes out. She's like, "Hey, maybe I should mention this, but around 5:30, there was 2 guys that were calling and trying to get into the house, saying, 'Hey, let me in.'" Okay. So at that same time of nap time, there's 2 dudes trying to get in, and then she said, by the time she gets in her car, turns around to like leave, those 2 people are, walking away. And she thought it was weird. Again, he didn't ask enough questions to say, why did you think it was weird? But at the same time, Kayla is saying that Kaylee and them came over to her house at the Whites there. And then after that, then when they left, that they went to go just roaming around. She doesn't say they went to go take a nap. Okay. They went roaming around. Interesting, because 5 to 8 is nap time, according to Dylan.
She was with all of her roommates and Ethan, so like they all came together. They showed up at, I think, around 2:33, and they probably left at around like 5 or 6, I would say.
To go roam around.
So left between 5 or 6.
Yeah, around that time at least.
I know
And she used the frame to go roam around.
there was a picture on social media posted of all of them. Was that
was at the apartment.
That was at your apartment that you live at? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you spoken to, I'm throwing a blank. Have you spoken to them at all?
And I have some classes together, so like we've gotten like close over that. I reached out to her on Sunday, but she didn't reply. So
you haven't spoke to her about the incident at all?
Mm-mm.
Or
Okay, boom. Another thing that we get to find out. According to Kayla, she hasn't talked to either Dylan nor Bethany. She tried to reach out on Sunday. I reach out to Bethany. I'm supposed to be friends with these people. Bethany doesn't respond. Hasn't talked to her since.
Okay. Do you know anybody who has, by chance?
I would probably ask
Emily.
Okay.
That's the name that gets blurred out.
because I think her boyfriend was the one that made that call.
That's how I was able to put 2 and 2 together, because she says her boyfriend made that call. Talk to Emily. Emily is her neighbor at the Whites.
Morning.
Okay. And you said you kept mentioning a couple names. I need several other names. The ones that would be able to give me more information. Is that?
And then I would say too, probably.
Okay.
Do you have all their phone numbers?
I have, actually, I think I do.
Okay.
And then,
Are they?
yes, there are.
This is just redaction. She's reading off numbers.
Okay.
Her number.
This is typical telephone.
Okay. Have you been over to their house before?
Yeah.
Okay. Do a lot of people like use their Wi-Fi or anything if they come over? Do you know?
I wouldn't say Wi-Fi, but I just know like they just usually keep like their like doors unlocked, and like everyone kind of like knows where, I guess, like their like house is.
Okay.
But
Was there a reason why Kayla being lived with? Is there like rules within like the Greek life of where you live off campus?
no, I believe that her and Maddie Mogan, since like they've been best friends for several years, they just like they've always like talked about living together senior year.
Gotcha.
But I know that like Kaylee, like her freshman and sophomore year friend group, like and everything, like they're still like all like really good friends. Like, yeah, she just wanted to live with Maddie.
Okay. And I know we've, as a department, have trying to gone through the area to like look for cameras or anything in general.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys are probably more familiar with that area than we are, because we don't, especially him and I, we don't ever go out there because we're on a specialty division. So are you aware of like any cameras that people have, even if it's like out the window or like anywhere in the whites that would maybe look over to like their side of the apartment?
Let's see.
What the fuck kind of question is that? Especially if you know the layout. The whites, if anybody has a camera that happens to be at the whites and happens to look that way. How can that would be the creepiest shit in the entire world. And you guys could just see that. These are the whites backs up to it. You'd have to put your camera in the window and literally like I can't even believe that question came out of his mouth.
I would.
And then what's more puzzling is that this is taking her that long to answer this specific question, which is, does anybody in the Whites building that you live in have a camera inside their home that faces their house? What? I have no idea. In the apartment that I live in, no. I mean, seriously, what? Are people listening to each other when questions are being asked? I just don't understand what's going on here. I'm truly lost.
You guys are probably more familiar with that area than we are, because we don't, especially him and I, we don't ever go out there because we're on a specialty division. So
we're on a specialty division, hence the whole what? Drugs task force buddy? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, Lana, that's what they're talking about. Oh, okay.
Are you aware of like any cameras that people have, even if it's like out the window or like anywhere in the whites that would maybe look over to like their side of the apartment?
Let's see. I would.
Now her ridiculously pause here to be like, she's not confused, she's thinking. She's literally thinking about this. Y'all might want to use this to go get a search warrant, because that pause right there for how long it is, unless she comes out and says, dude, I was so confused and I didn't want to seem like I was confused, so I just said this.
I don't believe so. I just like, a lot of us don't really have cameras set up because like we're just, it's,
right.
You know.
But even if they did have a camera set up, it would never be set up the way that they're asking it. Why would you have a camera in the back of your place in somebody's either bathroom or bedroom and have it just put a camera out just like that? For what purpose? That's not where your camera would ever be if you had one. I'm just completely, I cannot.
If you don't know, it's okay. I'm just curious. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Don't worry.
Have you
don't worry,
seen
Kayla.
anyone in that area that seemed out of place or anything? I know there's a lot of kids, a lot of college kids, and a lot of people, so you could have friends that come over that are unusual. But anything that may have stuck out in your mind that was like kind of weird, maybe a vehicle or it's just someone around the neighborhood?
No, but I think when we were at like our apartment, I'm pretty sure someone, I don't remember who, they were talking about how there was just like this random like kid that was like there was a random kid like carrying like a BB gun. Not really sure. But we didn't really think much of it. Like I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you mentioned like the grub truck and like a Twitch video, and that there were some gentlemen seen on it.
Yeah.
And you said that you didn't know either one of those individuals. They never looked familiar to you.
No.
And none of your friends said, "Oh, that's so and so," or "That's."
Yeah.
So they've never. Okay.
Like we've never seen them before. No.
Okay. And you, and being you guys, are you pretty familiar with like the? I know you like one of the members. You said it was a. I mean, you guys pretty familiar with a lot of the members there and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other questions you have? I can't think of any at this time, but we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Obviously, you seem pretty close to these individuals, specifically Kaylee. So, just know that there's people out here for you, and if you need to talk to anybody or utilize any resources, on campus as well as off campus, even him or I know it sometimes.
Thank you so much, Private Eye 1999 super chat. Thank you, Lana, mods, and team. Keep going. Oh, we're going to keep on going. We have an amazing live that's back to back tonight. I will also be dropping this Kayla interview without my commentary by itself, just like I said I would do for the house. That one I dropped just before this live started, so you guys can see the house body cam without my commentary. Kay Smith, thank you so much. 5 gifted memberships. So Kay turned 5 of you guys green. Love the green. D Smalls, thank you so much. Been a member. Been a minute. Chrissy Mendez, thank you. Thank you. And I have a list I'm going to be thanking. People donated to help us secure a very important Woo! Moscow, man. Hounding us. Get your money in. So I'm going to read off those names during my next live. Indy Cindy, who took the picture of all of the group together? It was at the Whites. Who the picture taker was, I can't recall right off the top of my head, but I know that I have it in my notes. Thank you for all that you do, a fellow Buckeye Gladiator. Yes. Okay. In short, this video had very, very interesting bombs. I'm telling you the bomb that you need to take away from this is, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. This interview was on 11/15/2022 at approximately, 1:15, between 11 and 1. There was nothing out on the internet yet. There was no Kaylee's sister coming out and telling us about all those missed phone calls. Okay. So the timeline of what she is saying and what she knows about these phone calls and no one answering and stuff like that. Okay. In this interview, it's being put onto Jack DeCour's shoulders that the King girls reached out and asked Jack, hey, do you know anything? Like, what's going on? And then he said to them, to these girls, I don't know. I have a bunch of missed calls. I didn't answer because I thought it was like a booty call. That's her version of why he didn't answer. Okay. So what Kayla may come out and say one day is, no, I just know that he didn't answer. I was just saying it was because like a booty call, whatever, when you break up and, hey, you want to come over, whatever. But to me, there might be some more there. I believe that this narrative got started not because of Jack Decor, though. I believe that this narrative got started from Dylan or Bethany. Why, Lana? Why would you ever say that? Well, because the phone calls that began were at 2:26 and they went to 2:53. And I am sorry, but Dylan and Bethany were fucking awake. Okay. And if they're awake, you would know what your roommate's doing, right? And so if you're saying, yeah, well, hey, well, what was Kaylee doing? If these people are really asking good questions, if they're good friends, to Bethany and Dylan to get every detail out. Oh, Kaylee was calling Jack. Jack wasn't answering. I don't know. She just kept calling him. She was trying to get him to come over for a booty call. Boom. That's what was happening before this happened. Okay. Stuff like that. Those type of conversations. And if that comes out, like I think it will, that means Dylan did not go to sleep at 2:13 and wake up at 4. Like they want to put in a report that they lied about. But I say they, not Mitch. Mitch Nunes never said that. But the Maoris, the Paynes, and the Blakers of the world, the Idaho State Police, like their narrative. And then that also says that if Bethany knew that, then again, you're not running away after 10 seconds of taking the dog out and, oh, it's cold, I'm going to go back inside, I'm going to bed. Oh, but then, Maddie came to my room and asked me if I had Murphy. Wait till that comes out. And tomorrow morning, you're going to be able to hear Bethany's interview. It's 2 hours with Detective Blaker. It's from Reno, Nevada. She has her lawyers present with her. She has the Nevada State Police in this. Blaker's in it. And obviously Bethany. So that's going to be tomorrow morning. So while you're at work, you can listen. And we're going to get started at 10 a.m. for that. Now come back and join me here. This live will start at 9:15. So in 10 minutes, we will kick off the lab visual aids to help you guys see why Ann Taylor was saying what she was saying with where the blood stains were, the swabs were taken, what the reports came back and said, and what it's isolating, and why Ann was saying what she was saying, and how she was arguing with her papers, with her filings. All right, we'll see you back. Give a special thanks to Bella. Give a special thanks.